If you're looking for new and interesting techniques for how to use your acrylics, then this is for you. This is part 3 of a 3-part series, and in this video, I'm sharing 4 techniques for adding interesting layers and marks as you develop your painting. Okay, we have used a lot of different techniques on this painting, and I have 4 more for you that we are going to try out now. And number 1 is carving out shapes with opaque color. So we have done a lot of texture in this painting. A lot of the things we've done have involved building up interesting depth and texture. And one thing I like to do once I have a lot of texture in a painting is calm the painting down with some solid areas of color. I will take a solid color and I will plan out areas that I want to save my texture, and then I will block out the areas in between. So say I want to have this area here preserved, so some interesting texture here. I'm going to maybe make that into, say, a leaf. So I'm going to kind of save out a leaf shape, and then I'm going to paint around it. And I'm going to go ahead and say, up here, I want there to be another maybe saved out leaf-shaped section that perhaps goes like there. Okay, so we're gonna paint in between. And then we're gonna paint up here. And this section is kind of blending into the petal, so maybe I'll separate it and make them a little smaller. And we could do something over here, like maybe we want there to be a branching structure. So we kind of have to plan out our branching structure and kind of think about it almost opposite of the way we normally would if we were painting in a shape. But we're going to be saving out an area of texture and getting rid of the kind of negative space in between. And you can see how this immediately zeroes in your eye on those textured spaces, because now we have a lot of negative or just sort of flat space that is calming things down. So now that we've blocked out a lot of that really textured background, it makes us inspect and kind of appreciate these saved out little pieces so much more. It almost gives it sort of like a collage feeling, where these almost feel like cut out pieces of paper or something that has an interesting painted texture like laid on top. It's just a really interesting effect. Our next technique is Sgraffito, which is scratching into a layer of paint. So you can do this with a brush where, say, you paint a shape of kind of thick paint here, and then you can take the end of your brush or any pointy tool and you can scratch into it. And you can show what's below by scratching through that top layer of paint. My personal way of doing Sgraffito is with the Catalyst wedge tool, which I love. I use it all the time. And I will put in leaves or other shapes, say like right about here, and I will kind of just almost like I'm frosting a cake, scrape it on like that. And then I'll immediately go back with the kind of pointy edge of it and remove some of the paint like that. And I'll play with the thickness. So sometimes it gets a little too thick. So I will knock that top edge down. And then if I don't like how it looked, I'll thicken it up again. And then I'll kind of scratch into it like that. And you can play with brushes, with tools, with pencils, with your fingernail. You can use your fingernail to make little scrapey marks. But my personal way of doing it is with the wedge tool. The next technique that I love to do with the wedge tool specifically is drawing lines with this edge. So I will add in plant stems or just textural marks by drawing with the edge. And often I'll kind of connect a line drawn with this with a leaf. So I'll kind of say put in a stem there, and then I'll press and make like sort of a wider shape that's connected to that line. The third technique we're gonna try is drips and splatters. So I'm gonna just grab some water in my brush and water down this paint. This was already a fluid paint, but I'm going to water it down even more. And we're going to try some lovely drips. So you can just use gravity and drip around like that. You can bang against your finger or tap to get, smaller little drips. And then you can also get a brush that is dry, get some thicker paint in the tip of it, and you can splatter it like this. And that creates a much finer, hazier sort of spread of sprinkles that has a bit more of like almost like a dusting feel. So using a variety of these techniques can give you an interesting mixture of sizes of drips and splatters. The last technique I want to share with you is using thick, opaque, and very intentional drips to kind of highlight different elements of your painting. So I like to use it on sort of the natural highlight edges of the petals, like where the light will be hitting them. So I'll use it in that situation to show you. So I'm going to mix up just kind of a light color, and I want it to be fluid enough to drip, but not so fluid that it just runs straight off the painting and like water. I want it to be kind of like a heavy cream consistency. So I'm just going to keep thinning out my paint till I get about there. And I'm going to pick a spot, say like maybe right here along this petal edge. And I'm going to use this to sort of highlight the petal, but then I'm going to tilt and I'm going to add more paint and maybe a little bit more water. It's not quite thin enough. And I'm going to kind of twirl my brush, and I'm just going to keep adding paint till I can get it to drip. There we go. I'm going to tilt the canvas and we're going to get it to go. So I'll show you that's what it looks like so far. It's going to go. And then I'm going to do it maybe again, like right here. And I can make those drips go all the way down. It's kind of fun to see how far they get on their own. If they don't look like they're going to make it to the bottom, I will add a little bit more paint at the top to kind of give it some more oomph to make it. So you can see they're getting down. I like having some of them go down to the bottom because that adds like a really pleasing sort of vertical element to the painting. Okay, I'm going to do another one right here. Oh, and it just decided to become a double drip. There we go. Maybe like one from higher up. And this one, I think I'm going to stop it like right there. So then the edge of the petal kind of looks like it has a drip that has started but is in progress, not going all the way to the bottom. Depending on when in the process of your painting you do these drips, they might look a little bit out of place. And to me, they look kind of stark, like they don't have nearly as much interest and texture as all the rest of the painting does. So when they're dry, I would probably add some more softening pink along the top edge. I might use some of my scraping or dry brushing or glazing techniques to kind of soften the drips, help them feel like they're a little bit more part of the history of the painting. But for now, it's really just about the shape of the drips, and I'm really happy with how those turned out. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment down below to let me know what you're working on in your acrylic paintings. And especially if you have a question or struggle that you're dealing with, I would love to answer your questions as best I can and to give you some help. All right, I will see you in the next video. And until then, happy painting. Bye.